Hi, good to see you again. Today I want to talk to you about decision making as a bicultural individual, specifically being Asian American. I was born in America, raised in America, but grew up in a household that was very Asian, specifically Chinese and Vietnamese culture. And the Asian side of me is very community oriented. We have large families, and I grew up in a household where at any one point I would have multiple families living with us. So every time I had to make a decision, it kind of was a collective decision, or you had to think about the collective interests when you made that decision. My American side is a little bit more individualistic. I kind of call it my wild side. I was brought up to really value family and listen and respect elders, but there's a part of me that just wants to do differently, and I want to make those decisions independently. That to me is my American individualistic side, and the lifestyle I've chosen is actually quite individualistic. I have moved across the country, and my family is still in Minnesota, and here I am in Los Angeles, but I fly back and forth a lot. So in decision making, lately I have had to face a big decision. It's a career decision for myself. And I've spent some months thinking about it, but really the last few weeks kind of agonizing over it. Because there's nothing hugely wrong with my job right now, but I just know there's something more that I want to do with my career. And so I've really taken 3 strategies to help me clarify what it is I'm trying to decide, think about the different scenarios, and finally feel okay with the decision I make. And so the 3 things that I have employed are surrounding myself with people who I trust and who support me and who have known me. And that could be family, that could be friends, that could be some professional colleagues that you really trust. I have found, though, that they are often overly supportive, so they may not ask some of the challenging questions. So in talking to your supporters, make sure you leave room and ask pointed questions so that they can be your devil's advocate. They know you well enough and they can be your cheerleader, but they also know you in a way where they can ask questions that are really pointed and help you think deeper. The second group of people that I turned to were folks who didn't know me so well, but I really respect in the career development space or business development space. They are coaches themselves, or they have opened their own businesses and become consultants, and they've had to make big career pivots. And so I reached out to a few of them and asked them for some advice. I made sure that I chose different people. So one of them said, go for it. Put yourself out there, make you your brand. And another person was more measured. She said, test things out. Try different services, different types of clients. Try on different brands. Try to use this transition time to figure out what you like and what you want to become. So I got 2 very different sets of advice from folks who had done it themselves. And I think what will work for me is a little bit somewhere in the middle. I'm not ready to hang my hat on a very specific type of service line yet, but also I don't want to be completely in the shadows, because I think I have many years of experience and folks that I have worked with that I can reach out to. So I have a few ideas of what I want to do next, and I'm going to reach out to them and give it a try. And finally, the third thing that I consistently tell myself throughout the years, I've gone through a lot of different career pivots, as well as moving across the country and living in other countries as well, is being okay with your decision. And it's important that you make a decision. If you just kind of go where the wind takes you, you don't have control. But I'm a sailor, and so I think you adjust the sails, you go in that direction for a while, learn from it, gain that experience, and if it's not quite right, adjust the sails a bit. And so I think decision making isn't about trying to decide what that final end goal is, but really it's about what are the little steps that will help you clarify what that end goal will be. And so don't be afraid to make a decision and stick with it for a little bit, and then pivot. So that's where I am right now in my latest journey of decision making. I'd love to hear about decisions you've had to make before, and culturally where you think some of your decision making approaches come from. Thanks.